$600 million gone.
$16 million were stolen from indexed finance.
Hackers are draining many accounts on Coinbase.
$1.5 billion gone in seconds.
Financial innovation means moving fast and taking risks. But when billions of dollars of user funds are on the line, security must be the top priority. Because in 2024, DeFi platforms lost $2.2 billion to hacks and exploits, and the total amount of stolen funds rose nearly 21% year over year. This year, the biggest victims were trading exchanges, with $1.8 billion drained so far. Solana stands out with far fewer incidents, faster recovery, and now a chance to actually set the gold standard for security. Crypto has a $2 billion per year problem. But what if most of these hacks could have been stopped? That's where Certora comes in as a full-stack security assurance platform trusted by Web3's most advanced teams like Jito, Kamino, Squads, and even Circle. From protocol design to continuous audits or formal verification, Certora embeds safety into every stage of protocol development. And they do this in a few interesting ways that we'll cover in a second. Founded by pioneers in program verification, Dr. Muli Sagiv and Shelly Grossman, they've already secured billions for DeFi giants like Maker, Lido, Aave, Coinbase, and now they're finally bringing that expertise to Solana. And here's why audits simply aren't enough. Most protocols still think of security as a single audit right before launch, but the reality is that security simply has to be a continuous process. From the first lines of code being written, all the way to mainnet deployment and even ongoing monitoring, Certora fills this gap. They prevent exploits before they happen, giving protocols confidence even long after launch. Because the consequences of not doing this are increasingly serious, as the Solana ecosystem grows from just $7 billion earlier this year to over $13 billion in DeFi TVL today, with North Korean hackers allegedly responsible for over $1.3 billion in stolen funds last year alone. Retrospective audits are simply not enough anymore. As adoption grows, move fast and break things no longer works, because the risk of breaking things and losing customer funds is simply getting too big. Even on Solana, speed to market can sometimes come at the expense of security, and that can lead to potentially costly fixes or even exploits which can cause irreparable reputational damage to builders. Now, the good news is that with institutional adoption rising and ETF approvals quite literally around the corner, Solana's biggest DeFi protocols finally have the security and audit partner they deserve.
Sort of Certora, in our minds, is sort of the leader in formal verification, and gives us a lot of comfort there.
As we know by now, the last 3 years have been nothing short of brutal for Web3 security, with the largest hacks amounting to eye-watering sums. The Ronin Bridge and Axie Infinity incident saw $625 million stolen from one of the largest hacks in crypto history. Binance's BNB bridge was hacked for $569 million due to a simple smart contract bug. Another $325 million was drained in just minutes from the wormhole bridge linking Ethereum and Solana. And the list goes on and on and on. These are often real losses impacting users, developers, and investors. But the scary part is that most of these exploits could have been prevented if the vulnerabilities were caught before deployment. And that's again where Certora comes in with formal verification and expert audits of leading Solana protocols like Jito, Kamino, and Squads, so that any vulnerabilities can be identified and caught before the smart contract ever reaches mainnet. Now, formal verification is key because it makes Solana stronger. As Toly himself argues, every large lending protocol should implement FV, which mathematically proves how smart contracts behave across every possible execution path. But FV is just one of the layers, because Certora combines it with research, with advisory, and with continuous audits to catch even the highest severity issues early.
There's a lot more interest and there's a lot more demand to formally verify code on Solana. And so I think as more protocols on Solana get closer to sort of their more mature state, or their sort of V1s and V2s become more stable and they move on to the next versions and they want to kind of freeze or sort of solidify the current ones, I think that's kind of why we're seeing more interest in formal verification, because this kind of maturity of the DeFi ecosystem is coming.
That's why we're seeing teams like Kamino, Lido, and Maker all trust Certora to protect billions, and why Solana's biggest builders are now following suit. Let's have a quick look at how Certora secures billions in DeFi TVL. At the core is the Certora Prover, a verification engine that checks contract code against specifications, and it simulates all the possible outcomes. If the code strays from its intended behavior, the prover will flag it. R&D and audit teams work hand in hand. Together, they deliver the most thorough smart contract analysis in the industry. Certora is not just another auditor, because they've analyzed hundreds of smart contracts and they've uncovered serious vulnerabilities that, if left undetected, could have led to significant financial losses. And to spice things up even more, the Certora team hosts audits and formal verification contests. So far, they've distributed an impressive $800,000 in rewards to the winners. So if you head to Certora.com/contests, you'll find all the past contest winners, along with both 5- and 6-figure prizes that have already been paid out. Now, evidently, a strong focus on security isn't optional anymore. With $2.2 billion stolen in 2024 and over $2 billion already in 2025, plus accelerating institutional adoption, the stakes have never been higher for Solana builders. For Solana to become the backbone of a multi-trillion-dollar tokenized economy, both security and trust has to scale just as fast as the tech. I want to thank you for tuning into Solana Floor, and I'll see you next time for more of the very latest.